What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, we're taking it to Ice Cube's masterpiece of a debut album, America's Most Wanted. You ready, y'all? Okay, Amir, so today on The Great Debaters, we are going to take a look at the top 3 picks on Ice Cube's debut solo album, America's Most Wanted. Now, this album blew my mind back in so many ways, and many of which I'm going to explain in my picks. But for you, Amir, I know Ice Cube, you think is the best rapper, favorite rapper, and released the best album of all time with Death Certificate. This is the album that precedes it, with, of course, Killer Will in the middle as a little appetizer. But for you, Amir, what were your initial thoughts and reactions to America's Most Wanted, and why?
Man, I freaking loved it, dude. It's so good. I mean, when I first started off, it was all like NWA, and then I listened to this very shortly thereafter, probably within the same month or 2 months of listening to Straight Outta Compton and NWA Greatest Hits. I did listen to this in order, and as you should with all music, but especially albums like this. And really, this is another one of those albums where it's going to be tough to pick my top 3. I was really between like 6 songs. For me, in particular, the first half of the album is so incredible. The second half is also very, very great. But for me, just the first half is it's so amazing on this album. But anyways, let's just get into it, man. I'm going to talk about my pick, but I have to talk about track 1 a little bit first, which is Better Off Dead, which is just the classic intro. This intro, it's not often that you hear intros get sampled a lot, this being one of them. I mean, just Better Off Dead. First of all, he's walking to get executed. I never did like you, it's so good.
He's starting off the album with dying.
Like, what? It's incredible, right? And then just for Got Any Last Words, and then that's just been sampled so many times, and then fuck all y'all, and then boom, he goes out, and then right into the next song, which is my first pick, The Brother You Love to Hate. Just how it starts, just really, and this is why listening in order is so important. And I know a lot of the viewers on our channels are really just smart listeners, and they relate to this. Listen in order, please. Like, you all know that already. So anyone who listens to music and they're not doing it properly, any of your friends, make sure to listen in order. Because this, how it sets up from Better Off Dead to The Brother You Love to Hate, and how it really just goes into that beat, and the song makes the listening experience that much better. It's fantastic. But then to get into the actual song is just like freaking incredible, and the things Ice Cube is saying, there's so many quotables on the album, but one thing that I really like he says is, how many more brothers in the pen than in college? Because of that line, I might be a cellmate. It's from The Brother You Love to Hate. Like, that's one of the great lines on the song. There's plenty. And then to have the chorus with the very interesting choice to say, fuck you, Ice Cube, haha, it's the brother you love to hate. And then it's just, throughout the album, a few times he's taking, jabs at himself, by saying, fuck you, Ice Cube, and other things, and even to have himself getting executed in the beginning, and then later on in the album where we have Yo-Yo kind of dissing him and him dissing her and going back and forth and stuff like that was also remarkable. But on this album, it's so phenomenal. The Brother You Love to Hate's a standout, and I really like the risk that he took by doing that. And if I recall, and I know you interviewed Jinx recently, if I recall, Jinx didn't want to put that on the album, like that chorus, but then Ice Cube insisted to do it, so maybe you can touch upon that. For Brother You Love to Hate.
That's also one of my picks, man. It's such an amazing thing, and the chorus, I remember playing it for one of my friends back in Maryland when we got the album, because I told him, I was like, yo, he says fuck you, Ice Cube in the chorus. The dude was like, for real? Nah, man. Like, what are you talking about? He thought I was lying to him or like trying to get him or something. And I was like, no, he really does. And it just worked so well coming off of NWA. And at this point, I didn't at least understand, and I think most people didn't understand. We just knew he had left NWA. We didn't know why or what was going on, because back then there was barely even magazine coverage of rap, let alone every second on your phone coverage of rap. So just to hear that, it was so striking coming off of the intro where he gets killed. And I was like, what is going on with this album, man? It's so amazing. And Amir, put out, some of the best lines already. So to start the album out so forcefully, which an album like America's Most Wanted is super important. And to really just kick it off so powerfully coming off of what we knew of him from NWA, and those that knew a little bit was CIA. It was just, and he was Stereo Crew, but bottom line is, it's just an astonishing way to start the album, and it just set the table, shall we say. Now, for my second pick, the thing that this may be an unusual pick, but Amir referred to it, is It's a Man's World, because I was so shocked, like saying fuck you Ice Cube on the chorus, that he allowed Yo-Yo to come in here and just annihilate him in such a way that was so well done on his own song, and it was a woman, and this is the first time we're hearing Yo-Yo. So I was like, not only were Yo-Yo's rhymes great, but Ice Cube's were too, and then the interplay and like what Jinx especially did on the production and just all the stuff, I was just like, this is astoundingly good. Because it was like those records like Roxanne, where Roxanne was dissing UTFO, but then this was different because it was profane and hardcore, and it was like for real more of what you would really imagine a heated conversation would have been like. So that song and Yo-Yo's power really, despite the album being so brilliant and Ice Cube being one of the best writers in rap history and the best storytellers in rap history, and this album being produced by Jinx and the Bomb Squad and them doing a phenomenal job, It's a Man's World just always is just so powerful to me, and it just blew me away. And it's still, when I think about it, when I hear it, and when I remember Yo-Yo just annihilating this song, like, yo, you're coming against one of the best rappers, if not the best rapper of the time, and you're going toe-to-toe, and arguably some would say she did better than him, but at the least she did as well as him.
Yeah.
And that just is phenomenal to me. Just shout out to Yo-Yo, as always.
Definitely, man. And just the James Brown sample, and just the start just of that song where bitch, back about the tip, just all that, just really just starting the song off, and Ice Cube and the production team of Sir Jinx and the Bomb Squad just really know how to make the song that much better, and genius. That's not one of my picks, but genius. And there were a couple collaborations on this album, that being one of the premier ones for sure. The Brother You Love to Hate, I wanted to bring up another thing too, like as I said, Better Off Dead was very much sampled. Brother You Love to Hate also is very much sampled, and then even Redman in his song Neurotic off his There's a Dark Side album, he has in his chorus, fuck you Redman. And I just think, so many of the greats sample and borrow ideas and are inspired by other of the greats, so it's always awesome to see like some of your favorites shout out other of your favorites. So shout out Redman. But my second pick, this is just one of my favorite storytelling tracks ever. It's also funny to me. It's just, the beat is incredible, and that would have to be You Can't Fade Me, which is also on the first half of this album. It's just, it's like Maury, but 1990 version of Maury. Ice Cube basically, he has this girl Carla, or Paula, or I think Carla, that he met in the backseat of his homies Impala, and it's so funny because Ice Cube, he has no shame in, like, for some reason, insulting or dissing himself on this album, because he admits that she had a nice body, but she had the ugly face, and he needed the paper bag to cover it up, and his homies would laugh at him if they caught him with her and stuff like that. But and then he's clearly in some deep trouble because you know, this girl is trying to fade him, and he's scared that he might have a baby with, you know, the neighborhood hoe, and she's been lost plenty of times, as he said in the song. But anyways, the song, to me, I really like just how he's breaking it down from when he just ran into her when she was 7 months in, and then, you know, she's ready to drop the load and all these things. And I think he's detailing the timeline, and then he even gets the blood tests and just everything, and the baby came out looking like his next door neighbor, and then he's just talking smack at the end of the song. And I just think it's just one of those just brilliant stories. It's very, you know, he just says exactly how it is, and it's clever. And the production is just something else. And the chorus, I also love, too. The sample and how he's also talking a little bit. And then it ends with the JD's Gafflin, which is a funny skit, too. But that's one of my favorite storytelling tracks and a premiere song on the album.
Yeah, it is excellent and very savage and cold-hearted, as Ice Cube had established himself very well with I Ain't the One and A Bitch is a Bitch leading up to this. So this is, to me, a continuation of sorts of those songs. It's not one of my picks, even though I understand and appreciate its brilliance. For me, I'm going to go with the title track for my third pick, because as the best gangster rap does, and this is, of course, part of the best gangster rap, it's timeless. And it's unfortunate that it's timeless, but just think about it. He says every brother with a color is most wanted, and it's just like that applied before he said it, while he said it, and sadly it applies to today, as we see time and time again, both with people that we know and then the news of the world and our country. And that song, to me, really not only is the title track, so it sums up a lot of what he discusses on the album, but it's the mentality and the realization of that being the truth, and that being Ice Cube exploring it in such a profound way, and all the different ways he explores it on America's Most Wanted, both the song itself, but then also the bigger picture with all the album, the entire album. And, you know, of course, like I said, it's a man world, Brother You Love to Hate, and then Who's the Mac is another one. But all these songs where he, Endangered Species, where he dips and dives into these corridors that we see him do throughout his career, and I'd argue best on Death Certificate, of course, but America's Most Wanted, man, and then having the America's Most Wanted TV show sample on there, it's just powerful, powerful music, man.
Yeah, that's very true. And then, you know, one of the lyrics that really also is just so powerful on it, because there's just so many, but just one where he says, when I think back when I was robbing my own kind, the police didn't pay it no mind. But when I start robbing the white folks, now I'm in the pen with a soap on the rope. And dude, I don't even have to explain it. We'll just leave that there. But
it's powerful.
That's a perfect segue to my next pick, or my last pick, which would be Endangered Species, Tales from a Dark Side, featuring the great Chuck D. And, oh man, dude, this song, all verses are fantastic and amazing. And if I had to urge anyone to just, because I'm hoping you've all heard this, but just revisit just that first verse. And
it's phenomenal.
It is literally, if you just listen to that first verse and you turn on the news, everything that's been going on, it's literally that. It's phenomenal. And just in the beginning, how we have an endangered species, blacks have entered the endangered species list and whatever. And then it's just like, they're always so good at just starting up these songs. Bomb Squad, Ice Cube, Sir Jinx, all those names are great at that. And then just the things that Ice Cube is saying, like peace, don't make me laugh, all I hear is motherfuckers rapping succotash. How the fuck do you figure that I can yell peace and the gunshots won't cease? Every cop killing goes ignored. They just send another brother to the morgue. A point scored. They can give a fuck about us. They'd rather catch us with guns and white powder. If I was old, they'd probably befriend me since I'm young. Dude, it's just that. Just listen to that, and then you can't see, but I have goosebumps. It's that relevant, it's that sad, it's that accurate, it's all those things, and it's so much emotion. And that's just the first verse. Then you get the second verse, and you get Chuck D's guest appearance, and it's just very powerful stuff, and it's very sad, and it is what it is. But this album has so much going on, whether it's the pregnancy scare of You Can't Fade Me, to the realities of America's Most Wanted and Endangered Species, whether it's the back and forth of the female and male braggadocio and all that with It's a Man's World, and who's the Mac, whether it be this guy or this person. And then you just get so many tales on a 16-track album, and it's a phenomenal piece of work, and definitely one of my favorites of all time. So we can discuss every song on this album if we wanted to. But
I also think with Endangered Species, that's probably, to me, as well as the Brother You Love to Hate and the title track, that first verse is probably one of the best verses on the album, and maybe even the best verse. But it's just sad. And I interviewed Ice Cube several times and spent a lot of time with him over the years. And I never forget, he told me in the year 2000, he just said he wished his music wasn't as popular anymore because that would mean it wasn't relevant. And that was literally 20 years ago when he told me that. I'll never forget, we were sitting in a Priority Records office in Hollywood, and he told me that. And now, sadly, almost every song on this album is still as relevant, if not more relevant, in 2020 than it was when it came out in 1990. And that speaks to Ice Cube's potency as a writer and the unfortunate, horrible state that our country remains in a lot of ways. So, that's why we wanted to talk about the best 3 picks on America's Most Wanted. You guys got my 3 picks. You got Amir's 3 picks. Be sure to hit us on the comment section as always. And please be sure to like, subscribe, and share to both Unique Access Entertainment and Rappin And Snackin. And when you hit us up in the comments, as you know, we'll hit you back. But let us know what you guys think. The best 3 tracks, Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted, y'all.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the DOC, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the street. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.